I finally got a record player. Hello world of YouTube. Yes, if you didn't know, I didn't have a player until now. But now I do, and that's fun. So now I can justify adding records like this many to my collection at once. We got another beefy vinyl collection update for you guys. Close out the year. Originally I was going to have the listening log come out today, but because I've been doing the big videos I've been doing this week, like the list video and the Rush tribute, and I still have another discography review to film for the Patreon, and prepping for list week, I just haven't really sat down to film the listening log. So after list week, I'll be dropping the listening log. This was going to go live in January, so I basically swapped these two. Hopefully you understand. It's been a crazy December, and hey, I do have opinions. I got 19 records to talk about at the listening log, so we'll cap off 2020 then. But for now, let's start talking about records. Now the first chunk of records, in fact about half of this haul, if not a little over half, I actually got about a month ago with Crash, shortly after I made the last update and it went live. Crash asked if I wanted to go record hunting, and I was like, sure. So we hit up a couple of local spots, and I'll be kind of doing what I did with the last review, where it's kind of most or least recent to most recent. I got some gifts as well, and some stuff that I ordered that was just limited release. But yeah, the first place Crash and I went to was a place out in Indy called Karma Records. We went to the one that's on the east side of the city, and I picked up a couple of records, starting with a record that I wanted to get when I was in Philly, Klaatu's 317 EST. I really dig this record. It's like a psychedelic, sort of pseudo-proggy sort of record that has some cool old-school synth textures, with some really Beatles worship in some of the vocal deliveries. Polyphonic actually made a really interesting video about this record, because initially upon release, this band was confused to be the Beatles. I'll put that in the card somewhere, a link to that video. But I really like this record. It's got a little bit of a sense of humor about it, but it's also mostly just a good batch of jams that I really enjoy. And again, I wanted to get it a couple years ago, and so seeing it back in the wild, I was like, this is an immediate grab. I need to get this right now. So yeah, I'm glad to have this in my collection, if only to kind of check off a sort of wanton desire that I've had for a couple of years now. I also got 36 Chambers, because of course, what guy that loves hip-hop, that talks about music on the internet, doesn't love Wu-Tang? I think I talked about this on my favorite albums of all time. This is my favorite hip-hop album ever made, because of course it is. But I mean, I love this record. I feel like it needs no introduction. You know, it's like a hip-hop game of King of the Hill. Everybody's trading really cool bars. You know, they have some fun on here. The kung fu samples are cool. It's a classic. This is a bona fide classic. I feel like again, it's Wu-Tang. Of course. Now for the most recent album, as far as release dates considered to be added to the record collection, Song Machine. They had Song Machine, and I had to get it because I love this record. It's like the best Gorillaz album in a long time. It's got a whole lot of bops. This is the regular pressing, so it goes only up to Momentary Bliss, but that's fine. I got Désolé, I got Aries, I got the Beck song, I got Pac-Man, I'm set. I got a good batch of tunes right here, my guy. I love this record a lot, and I'm excited to spin it. Listen to some good old classic Gorillaz jams. And after that, they opened up an exchange on the east side that we went to, which is a gaming store that I've talked about, where I got my copy of King Crimson. And the one on the east side had a copy of Evil Empire, one of my favorite records, and a great Rage Against the Machine record. Love this project. I'll be doing a Rage reformatted discography review at some point, but this is fucking perfection. It's just super aggressive, super sharp writing, lots of expansions on the sound that their debut had. I like this project a lot. I think the guitar sounds are really cool. I think it's a great experience, and I'm happy to have found it, because I think it's awesome. Yeah. Hooks for days. It's everything I liked about their debut and then some. It's a good ass project. Do I like it as much as the debut? No, but I still think it's one of the best records ever made. So there you go. After that, we went to this local shop down in Irvington. It was like a book and record store. I'll ask Crash for it so I can put it in the description and on screen while editing, or I'll just look for it on Google. I'll find it somehow, like I did with Ear Food and what I did with Karma Records. Their info will be right here. But I picked up a few records there, starting with Fugazi's Repeater. I really like Fugazi. I don't know if I've ever talked about that, but I've talked about Wugazi, but I haven't talked about Fugazi's Repeater. This is another classic, great post-hardcore record that I feel like for them to sort of really carry themselves into the 90s, it was a great sort of full-length experience that I really enjoy. I'm a big fan of this record. I think it's got some good guitar tones, some really good potent aggression. It's a great ass project. Is it my favorite Fugazi record? I don't know, but it's up there. I really like Repeater, and when I saw it there, I felt like I had to get it because it's a classic in my opinion, especially for the genre. Now I found a single that I never thought I would ever find. It says a Hip Hop Wars single. But when I looked at this feature list, I was like, wait a second. Is it on here? And it is. This has the Anthem. The King Tech and Sway title song for their radio show. That was it was on my Posse Cuts video. It's the track with the RZA, Exhibit, Tech 9, Eminem, KRS-One, Cool G Rap. It's got all those dudes on here. On this track, but it also has a bunch of different stuff. Like it's got the instrumental and the acapella for the Anthem, which is really cool. It's got Styles and Beyond, some Styles and Beyond cut. It's got an Eminem and Biggie freestyle. I don't know what the fuck this is. I haven't listened to it yet, but I'm curious because this is very, very weird. I'm excited to hear what the fuck is on here. But this was just something I had to get. If purely because I liked the Anthem, and that enough alone was enough for me to spend like the $3. It was exactly $3 that I spent on this for the history, for preservation of history, for my sake. And the last thing I bought at that Irvington bookstore was Nonagon Infinity. I talked about this on a podcast recently. I love this record. I think it's insane how tight this fucking project is. I love the pressing. It's got like a green splatter. Easily my favorite King Gizzard record. It was the one that got me into them. It's got a lot of flair. It's a dazzling sort of rock record that has just some good ass stuff in it. And it loops. So that's fun. Now, I also went to my go-to record place out in Indy, Vinyl Rescue Project. I've talked about them a couple times, and I picked up a few things there. Something that I've been eyeing for months that I knew nobody was going to buy. I had the money for it, so I picked it up. And that's Beck's Modern Guilt. You guys know it's a guilty pleasure for me. I like Modern Guilt a lot. It was high up in my Beck's discography review. I like what him and Danger Mouse did on this project. I think it's neat. And I'm glad to have this on vinyl because I think it's really good. I think it's a good summation of Beck's styles in a certain facet, similarly to what he did with Colors, but in like a Danger Mouse sort of texture. I like it. I also bought White Blood Cells because they had it there, and I was like, hell yeah! Not my favorite White Stripes record, but I love this record. It's one of my favorites. It's a classic. You already know. You know, it's got the good pop shit. It's where they really kind of came into their own from a broader sense. You know, it was a good warm up to a record like Elephant and took some of the ideas seen on Die Stigil and made it even better. I was really happy to find this because I love this record a lot. And now it makes me want the rest of the White Stripes discography on vinyl, but if White Blood Cells is the start, I'm cool with that. And then the last thing I got from Vinyl Rescue Project that I was really excited to see. They had one of his albums. They had both of his albums there, but I saw this, and I knew I had to get it. It's the Halloween theme by John Carpenter with a B-side of the Escape from New York theme. And look at this pressing. Look at this packaging. It's just fucking... It's neat as shit. Look, it's got a little Mikey in a house with the moon. And this has got New York with the Twin Towers, old New York. This is a dope ass find. I was stoked as hell to see this because I really love the Halloween theme, and I like the Escape from New York theme. I've never seen Escape from New York, but I've listened to the soundtrack because I really love John Carpenter's work. If that wasn't obvious, and I was excited to find this, and it was a good deal. It was a good ass deal. I'm actually gonna listen to this after I end this video because I just want to hear the Halloween theme right now. I'm feeling it. But yeah, I really like this project. I really like John Carpenter, and I like that they had this. If they still have his Lost Themes 1 there when I go there next, I'm probably gonna buy it because I like Lost Themes 1. I thought Lost Themes 2 was okay, but Lost Themes 1 was definitely the more superior one to me. And then the last two things I got was a gift and something I bought myself. And the thing I bought myself, which came sooner, was a pressing of the Castlevania Adventure Rebirth soundtrack that the Yeti did a repressing of for like their Black Friday deals. And I bought it because I love Castlevania, obviously. And this soundtrack has not only the great songs from Adventure, but the classic Castlevania jams you know. Your Bloody Tears is. I think Beginning's on here. Vampire Killer definitely is. And Bloody Tears actually isn't on here. Vampire Killer is. But that's it. Huh. But it's got the Adventure soundtrack, which is a really good, I mean, it's Castlevania, so you already know it's good. But it's a great soundtrack in its own regard, and I had to get it. It was a limited repressing. I think it's on like a red vinyl. It's on like a red vinyl with like a black splatter on it. Yeah, look at that. That's fucking dark as shit. That's really cool. I like that. And I hope it comes in clean. You know what I mean? And then lastly, Tyler. Shout out to Tyler one time. Got me Man on the Moon 1. Arguably one of Kid Cudi's greatest records. We actually listened to the first side of the project when we were hanging out after I opened it, because Evan had a record player, and Evan has a record player, and I love this record. It's vibes all the fucking day, and I get really nostalgic for this record, so I'm glad to have it, because I really like the tones on here. I think Kid Cudi came through strongly on this project, and it was a great sort of introduction of his style and his aesthetic and his like vibe into the scene. I know those are all the same three fucking things, but it was a great introduction to Kid Cudi as an artist, and again, really stoked to have this in the collection. Thank you again, Tyler, for this. I'm going to cherish it so very much. And that was my vinyl update. What did you think about it? Did you like these records? Do you not? Let me know. There's comments down below. If you like this video, be sure to give it a like. Support your local businesses, as I had on the screen here. I like to throw some love to the local cats that's still just trying to make it in this pandemic. So shout out to them. Shout out to the Yeti. They make good stuff. Shout out to Tyler. He's a great guy. And shout out to John Carpenter, because he's fucking awesome. Thank you so very much for watching. I'm going to get out of here. I have been Viral Rack. You guys are good at lives and situations. And I'll see you another day.